Welcome everyone to Totally Online Gaming Group's Twitch channel. Sorry, got a little bit confused. Sorry, we're a little late. Uh, yeah, we've been kind of getting stuff set up because today I want to welcome you guys to a very special live stream where I've got uh, Jason Roy, Jonny Ree, Chris Bagley, from BouncyRock, three big devs from that made Talespire. I can't speak today. I'm just kind of out of it. But we've got them here to answer some questions and some news that they want to announce. I think as well on a couple things. Oh, thank you, Lord Stylers, for the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah, you can see they've got Talespire open in the background so that they can, maybe show us some stuff as they're answering questions. But why don't you guys, just say hi to everyone, introduce yourselves, and shout out your socials, where they can find you, that kind of stuff.
Well, that's easy. I'm not social, so you can find me very quickly.
Yeah, the person who's actually most social out to the community.
At least, yeah, the unsocial person is the community manager. That's perfect. Yeah, nice.
All right. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Bagger's lead programmer working and on engine and all that kind of things. I make things go vroom. And to be honest, if you're finding me, it's probably on the Discord. I'm usually there. Just add me.
I am Jason. I do some of the art, music, and sound effects, and like the other guy. I don't really do social media too much, so I don't really care. Don't look for me.
You're already watching the channel you should be watching. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Yes, absolutely.
So I'm Jonny Ree. I go by Ree on Discord and pretty much everywhere else. I guess I'm sort of like the team lead, and I do a little bit of everything. But primarily, I guess I do the front end stuff. So the things I interact with, the things I do building, the effects, and some of the visual components and things like that.
The game bit of the game.
The game bit of the game. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So, I guess what we're here to do is ask a bunch of questions about the stuff you guys have been working on, and and everything. And I think you guys, at least on your Discord, you put out some information today that I would love for you to share with everyone else and let them know, because that's some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah. So we've set a release date for the early access, which is really exciting. And it's going to be coming out the 14th of April. So in between 3 and 4 weeks. That was basically the big news. We also set like our own timeline for getting the new Chimera building out, which is the one that I'm currently running on the screen here, which comes with a entirely new way of rendering things. So it's a lot faster, and it comes with a new like an asset library. It comes with a new building system, or at least a defined building system, and a bunch of other sort of usability features, tutorials, just general help and things to help people get into the game once it's available for everyone. So,
yeah.
All right.
A lot of cool improvements, man.
Heck yeah. And I mean, we're seeing some right here in the background. So, feel free. Why don't you guys tell us, for some of those might not be up on the news and initiated into what you're doing there. It definitely looks a lot different from Talespire, the version that I've got right now. What's the change? Everyone, if you're in the know, you know that what they're dealing with Chimera back here. Why don't you guys explain a little bit more about that?
I just love because it was like it looks really different from the version we're running. It's like, does it? We've been staring at it for so long now that I forgot that part used to be on the side and all that jazz. I'll let Johnny do the tour of the
Outstanding.
forefront and things.
So we can go to at least the front end part here, and the most obvious change visually that people will see is the library. So we've gone away from the side panel that had the smaller icons on the side there, and have opened up for these large visual icons in this library. So we have tiles here, we have creatures, and then there's props, which is another big addition to the building system. Um, so to talk a little bit about the library itself, then we you have all the categories on the side here, so you can see the type of tiles that you've been used to building with. So the castle tile, castle ruins, harbor, tavern, all that stuff exists on the side there. And then instead of having just tiny icons and this sort of text on the side, you can now properly view it. You can also make the icons bigger and things like that. We have like a recently used panel, so you can, if you start sort of building things and place a bunch of different tiles, then that will show up in the recent tab. There's also a favorite, which isn't working quite right at the moment. The building system itself has gotten some improvements where clipping, for people who are familiar with that, has become more of an integrated part into the tooling. So when you pick up a thing and move it around, you get the same type of behavior as we've got in Talespire today. So it will sort of climb on top of things, try to place on top of the tiles that are below. The moment you go into one of the modifiers, so we have three modifiers, four modifiers. We have four modifiers, so you can move it vertically. You can slide it across the surface with like this, or you can rotate it. You also can snap it to tiles that are already put down like this. The moment you go into any of those modifiers, you're basically already inside of the clipping mode. So if I want to clip it in here, I can just hold down one of the modifiers and then just place it down where I sort of like see fit. So generally, it's a bit more stable. There's not as much sort of trying to figure out how to get it into a place. It just feels a lot nicer. The other big thing that I mentioned was the prop stuff, the prop system. So props are previous tiles have been converted to props at the moment. We'll expand with a lot more of these. The difference between that and tiles is that they have free placement. So you can place them anywhere. I just know, like, it's not restricted to the grid itself. And it can also rotate with a high like degree of accuracy. So you can, I think it's about 15 degrees, like that. Other things you can do with it is snapping on the side of walls if you want to, which is great for like doing wall cloth or signage or anything like that, or torches. Um, but otherwise, they work pretty like similarly. But that allows you a little bit more control when dressing up rooms that you've already created. So that's probably the biggest change would be the library and the prop system on the UX side of it, or sort of like the front end side of it. What have I forgotten?
Actually, I don't know. I was having a fight with Twitch. It wanted to tell me about all kinds of cookies that I needed to accept.
Oh, I see.
Authenticate my login and three-factor authentication, and so I was getting there. I was getting there. I was happy you were in the swing.
Yeah. So otherwise, it's Talespire as we've seen it before. There has been additions to, like, you have this bar at the bottom. It's a bit difficult to see on the stream, maybe. But that's going to give you contextual information. So if you hover over something, it's going to tell you what buttons do do what, which can be quite handy if you're trying to explore the game. And there's also things like just key bindings that we haven't had before, so now you can rebind keys. Um, there's a lot of usability things that would be excellent to have for the early access.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think I'm
Excellent.
going to stop there for a bit.
Okay.
Someone else to.
Oops. Now we'll go through the code line by line.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna. We were getting some double audio because Johnny and I are in the same room, which you wouldn't be
Ah.
able to tell from how we've calibrated the color on our cameras. But yeah, so I will be forgetting to unmute myself plenty. So enjoy
Ah.
that.
No worries. No worries. All right. So we have some questions that uh, some of these have come from some of the others in the community that I wrote down. Some are questions that a lot of people are, clamoring for, and just others are kind of, things I came up with. So let's kind of go through some of these and see. So, uh, first one here that I've got is this one's actually from Demon Gund. Uh, so he wants to know if, for all of us who are, got in on the beta and everything, will there be any kind of referral program for those of us who heavily promote Talespire? Like a discount code that we can maybe, refer off to, friends and stuff like that, or things like that.
No, that's something we haven't actually talked about. It's been such a focus on like get this thing working and get it out. That yeah, that's it's something to look into. Does Steam do that kind of thing? It sounds like something they would do,
I
but they've been
think
doing some
so.
weird things with packs recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we have to look into. I think it's like a good thing to be looking into because there is
Hmm.
such great people in the community that doing amazing things. So yeah, it's something we'll have to look into and see what our possibilities are.
All right. Okay. So that's that one. The next one here, um, a lot of these like Demon Gun like inundated me with questions. So a lot of these first ones here are just right from him, and some are from the community. So why the odd secrecy about community mods in the Talespire Discord? Like you have to jump through some hoops to actually reveal those channels and stuff.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, so the main reason for that is because we don't currently have support for modding, really. So the way that the game is modded is something that's really difficult for us to support.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible to see what people have managed to achieve by doing what they've done, but it's just something that we can't end up supporting those things because it's just potentially way too volatile of a of a mod because they're
Mhm.
doing code injection for the most part, right?
I'm such an idiot. I was
Okay.
pulling stupid faces a second ago because I'm like, you can't see the moderators on Discord. What's going on? Like, yeah. No, so the main thing is, yeah, we need to be able to move fast and break things internally. And we're still a place where, well, at least so far, everything's been finding a home in the code base. The stuff moves kind of constantly. And so it just ends up with, if that's someone's primary experience of Talespire, then their experience is going to be broken a lot. And
Mhm.
that's not how we want to introduce to people. So by putting a small hurdle, then you contextualize what's going on.
All right. Uh, one question I had was back a while ago. You guys had talked about uh, a new terrain system that you were kind of experimenting with and working on. Uh, what's come about with that? Are you guys still working on that? Is that something you're going to try to have for early access, or is that something that's kind of far off in the future, or is
It's
it
still
something you guys had to get rid of?
no, and we're not getting rid of it.
Mhm.
It is on the um, it is something that we're wanting to do or that we will be doing. It's not coming to the early access,
Mhm.
and it's going to take a while actually to make that
Okay.
system. It's it's a pretty significant thing.
To clarify, it'll be during the early access, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's what I meant. Yeah, so
if you meant
when you
during
can't
the
launch
early
it.
access, yes, it's coming during the early access, but it's not coming like before before we release the early access.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
So it'll be during early access, but it'll be before the full official release.
Yes, before V1,
Outstanding.
as we call it.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So, yeah, actually, that's a question that just popped up. Said, wait a sec. Is that a spell effect in Chimera that they saw?
Yeah, some magic
That is
missile.
that is a magic missile.
That is sweet. That is so cool.
2
Yes.
days ago now that went in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's really recent.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's still a little bit work in progress, but it works.
All right.
And,
All right.
So yeah, let's see if we can go the other way as well. There we go.
Right back at him. That is so cool.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
love the thing that Jason did the other day. So if we go into the and just search for drunk, and then we get this guy. Because this is
this
way too fun.
he got so drunk he uncovered arcane secrets.
Yeah, let's see if we can get like a good one. There you go.
Nice. Yeah, right out of the mug.
Yeah, so we're hoping to add a lot more magical effects and emotes and stuff over time. There's not going to be a ton of that for the early access release, but during early
Alright.
access, there's going to be a ton more done on effects in general and ways for players to emote themselves.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that myself.
Definitely, I think that's going to be add some additional fun for the users when playing games in it. Like playing D&D or whatever system you're
Yep.
using. Which,
Yep.
speaking of which, plans on putting in rule bases during early access, or is that something that's way far off in the future?
That is one of my big tasks for the early access.
Okay.
Yeah, I want that in before V1 ideally. I mean, it was one of the stretch goals. So like, we want kind of. I think I'm right saying we want all of these stretch goals in for a V1, in some form, of course. So like, the exact implementation may change. Like for the terrain stuff, originally we were thinking of some kind of foam block system, and then when we started actually planning and sketching things out and stuff like this, it made sense to. Well, yeah, we've still got some prototypes to do on the terrain stuff, but yeah,
Okay.
similar kind of things for the rule systems. So
Alright.
yeah, I'm going to be getting a whole bunch of books and learning just how nightmarish it is to try and make general rule systems. Yeah,
Oh,
it's going
jeez.
to be intriguing.
All right. Now, another big question would be, thanks for that info there, Panoramic Panda. I'll fix that. Another big question would be, hey, Fog of War, what's going on with that?
I can take that one again. Fog of War is going to be in experimental version for when the early access launches. So there'll be a switch in the settings and you can turn it on, and it'll be pretty janky. So it'll kind of be similar to what you've seen in some of the GIFs already, which is you can drag out a big block. Oh yeah, or we could just show the damn thing. But that's in a very open area, so the next thing it moves is probably going to uncover most of it. Oh yeah, there's a few things that weren't uncovered. But yeah, so it'll be possible to lay down fog, and it will be possible to move around and uncover it from members of the party. What will be going on there? Obviously the visuals of it are very much not done. Basically, it's one of those things. It's just not up to our standards of what we like to have for a feature of the game. So I mean, like performance-wise, there's a lot of things that I can still do on it. There's a lot of kind of like when you start playing in tight spaces, there's a lot of little things I'm going to mess around with. I'm trying not to go just off on a nerd rant about things I want to do on there. But yeah, it's in a form. So you can start tinkering with it and give some feedback, and yeah, then we can. There's so many questions which come into when you actually start playing with this in a multi-level building, and then things are being uncovered, and how does it interact with the cut plane? How does it interact with tile hiding? How does that? There's just, yeah, it's kind of a nightmare, and I'm looking forward to that. being solved.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward, and according to chat, there a lot of people are looking forward just to playing around, even if it's not 100%. They just want to get their hands on it and play. So you got
Well,
plenty of testers available.
yes, very like it.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's really good. I think when it comes to stuff like Fog of War, because three-dimensional Fog of War is a tricky problem that we don't really
Hmm.
have many examples to go to see how it's done. So it's going to be one of those where we'll need a lot of feedback on what sort of cases that people end up using it for, and what are the problems that people encounter. So before we have a full like visual, this is what it's going to look like. There's going to be yeah, it's going to look a lot like it does currently.
All
But
right.
hopefully that's going to allow us to nail down the functionality that it needs.
Good. That sounds good. All right. Okay, here's another question. This is another Demon Gun question. Man, you're getting a lot. And yeah, but like I said, he just inundated my Discord with questions. Uh, but before I get to that, actually, I do want to say for my two, one especially, but my two kind of Talespire collab build stream creators that joined me on the stream, Klein and Danelle. Uh, I know you guys said you weren't able to be here. That sucks. I'm sure you would have had plenty of questions of your own to ask these guys. Um, and so I just want to give a shout out to them for all the help they've given me in the collab build stream. But then I want to get to the question here from Demon Gun. This is a big one. Any thoughts on a supported system for users to create UI elements that reference external APIs? For example, like being able to create a simple pane to show a JPEG world map to the players. There are plugins for this stuff, but like having the system native would be something huge.
This is something we've been thinking about. It's We have to find a way to do it that we're happy with, I think.
Okay.
So that's going to be some ways down the road, most likely, before we end up being able to look at that. But it is something that we'll be looking into, at least.
Oh,
That's
very
the best I
cool.
can do.
Yeah, the
Okay.
showing images thing for sure. As far as like external content, no ideas on that yet. So yeah, but the main thing for the image sharing, of course, is we've got to sync it between all the players. So there's an aspect of there. Does that go via the server, or do we hold off? Because I know I want to do some experiments with once we get up to want to do some experiments with WebRTC for voice and video chat.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, you have a peer-to-peer streaming protocol. So maybe we use that the for other content as well. In which case, that takes a load off and things like that. So there's there's more to the question of when doing it right than just show JPEG. But that would be
Okay.
nice.
All right. Now another question that I've got, and I know probably some of the other guys that actually live stream their games. One that we want to know is as part of early access, like when it gets released, or during early access. Are you guys, excuse me, are you guys working on anything or have plans for being able to have some kind of control where you can click on like a pop out to pop out a almost like a separate instance, not really a separate instance, but like an instance of Talespire that shows the player's only perspective as opposed to the DMs, so that when we live stream, our players can't. Not that they would, but they can't just go, "Oh, let me watch a live stream. It's a little delayed, but oh, I see where the monster is."
We're facing like an interesting situation when it comes to people wanting to stream on or sort of show things on like a separate monitor in general.
Hmm.
Uh, so it sounds like a similar situation to that,
Yeah.
and it is something that we really want to look into. We don't have we haven't done much there yet, and I'm not entirely sure what the time frame for that would be.
There's definitely a performance component to if it's rendering everything kind of twice. Obviously, there's some things we can that we won't have to do twice by doing it in the same instance. But yes, lots of questions to be had in that one.
All right, I just got a quick question from chat here. Professor PUI said, "Wait, did the monster get turned to stone?" Oh, and they just said, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah, that is something that I want to do in the future, though. Is sort of like skin effects, like stone and bark skin and things like that.
Mm,
Status effects in general.
okay.
But that will be later down the road.
All right.
So yeah, what you were seeing there was when you're in build mode, creatures get kind of grayed out, so they're not
Uh huh.
interfering.
All right. Next question. Um, this one is kind of a shifting in gears here. Tailweaver. So, just to remind everyone, when is that coming out? If you have a date for that, and what kind of stuff will people be able to do with that?
Um, yeah, so it is something that we say we wanted to have for early access release, like when when we actually released early access. That
Mm,
just doesn't seem feasible at this point if we want to actually get the game out. And it is a bit of a messy project at the moment. So because it is Tailweaver is something we use internally.
mm-hmm,
Like anytime that we put any content in there, that's what we use. But it has sort of we've been putting in features as we need them, and it's become a little bit of a beast compared to what we need for the modding stuff. The other issue when it comes to modding is, of course, that we need to sync all of this stuff. So chances are that when we're able to release a version of Tailweaver, we might um, have to sync things manually, basically sending files to all of your players.
mm-hmm.
Um, we just don't know when that's going to be in.
All right.
I hope we'll have a version of Tailweaver that people can at least use to get characters in, for instance,
Okay.
and creatures. Um, that's probably going to be what we end up doing first,
All
and
right.
then
Well, will they be
get
able to
the
use like just a standard STL file, or is that the goal, or is there something, a different file type, or something along those lines that will have to be used?
it's not ideal using STL files.
Okay.
Unity, I believe, can import them, but they tend to be quite polygon dense, so they're quite heavy to
Ah.
run, and they
Okay.
also don't tend to have colors on them. So there is a little bit of processing there to do,
Okay.
and yeah. So hopefully we'll have some better solutions for people who aren't as familiar with uh, doing characters and creatures
Mhm.
for video games to get
So
their
like,
miniatures.
also perhaps even for people like if you've talked to maybe Hero Forge and worked out anything with them, or people getting the STL files for minis they've generated in Hero Forge, perhaps a conversion program that converts it to what would be needed in Tailweaver, something along those lines.
Yeah, so Hero Forge already supports exporting to tabletop simulators, so they have models that are quite compatible with video games.
Excellent.
And as I mentioned before, we are talking to Hero Forge.
Outstanding. Outstanding. All right. So now, a couple more questions on Tailweaver. First, is is it gonna be a separate program, or is this gonna be something included with Talespire when you buy Talespire? And like as well as like for the beta people who have already got Talespire keys, will they get a free copy, or is this something purchased separately?
You're asking about Telbeaver again, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's completely free to download and mess around with. So it's not
Outstanding.
something that's extra. It's not going to be downloaded by default. So it is something that you'll have to get. How that's going to be accessible in what way? Um, we don't know yet. One way that it could be done is that Steam has their own tool sections where
Mhm.
you can download additional tools for games that you've purchased. So that
Excellent.
might be an option.
Might be in that section. Okay.
It could be.
Last
We
it
haven't,
could
we
be.
haven't been able to test on that yet.
All right. Last question I've got, kind of in reference not so much to Tailweaver, but more so in reference to putting things in the game, plugins, extensions, things like that. For example, there are some out there, that some really, ambitious programmers, people with way more skill and knowledge when it comes to programming than I have come up with. For example, there's one that I've got installed that I can roll in D&D Beyond, and then it ports the die roll plus the modifier over to Talespire, and then you can grab the dice and roll it, and it adds the modifier that you've done. But there's another one that I've got in there that allows you, when you hit F5, to basically have kind of a free camera as far as the angles, instead of like, how you can't quite go completely horizontal or completely vertical. And I'm just wondering on things like that, you know, how open are you guys to to allowing those things, to supporting those things, and that kind of stuff.
I can take that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the dice thing is being done via the Talespire URL schema support. So we will be expanding on that and doing more things with it. So things like being able to take a position on the board, save that out as a URL, and then have someone follow that and jump directly into that campaign, into that board, to that spot.
Nice.
That's going to really help with interfacing with other systems online. So that's really bad. My brain's going blank on World Anvil. That was who I was thinking of. Would love to be able to use things like that easily with Talespire. And so that's one thing that's very much there. We've had in the FAQ for ages that we wanted to look into some kind of API support, like a supported WebSocket API.
Okay.
Again, nothing's ever going to move as fast as,
Right.
like, even once we have it in there, that people want to. So I think there's always still a place for the DLL hacking folks to do their thing. We're not. I mean, Talespire is, again, we're not interested in making it into kind of some infinitely reworkable canvas for
Right.
anything, and that's fine. That's like
Right.
it's one of those
It's
things
going to
that
be
other people.
it's going to be what it
Each
is,
thing
and
in its kind of
yeah.
what we can do best at. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting some API stuff in there at some point. Obviously, whatever we add, we want to make sure that it doesn't like deprecate the default experience for people. So
Yeah,
yeah.
doesn't cause problems, doesn't
deprecate.
make it run
Yeah,
slow, things
that's
like
what
that.
I'm trying to say.
Totally
The
understand.
words that mean things.
Yes. Which, speaking of which, let's see if I can find where that question went on here. Where did that go? They went by so fast. All the questions. Let's see. Darn it. I'll say this: if you've got a question that hasn't been answered, please put it in chat so that I can make sure to see it and get to it. I do have, another one here on my own. It's actually from Demon Gun originally. I love this question. Is BouncyRock prepared for the insane success that Talespire is going to be?
Oh.
We're not prepared for medium success.
Yeah. Honestly,
I'm speaking for that from a server level and an emotional level. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Personally, I hope people enjoy it. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
All right.
It's just so cool to be doing this.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, you guys are truly you're living the dream, doing something that you're passionate about, and that is an insanely cool gaming system, virtual 3D gaming system, setup. I mean, yeah, props to you for that. That's awesome.
You, man.
Which we did get a question in chat. So, uh, will we have square highlighting back on Chimera? Back in Alpha, squares would be highlighted when you picked up a mini.
That is something that I would love to experiment with again because I do like them. It was sort of based on the idea that we didn't have free movement at the time, and now it's mostly free movement. We're sort of going back into making sure that the grid system does work. But it is something that I'd love to look into getting back into the game at some point, even as a toggleable option. But that's all I can sort of commit to at the moment. Is that it's something I'd like you to look into.
Okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of really interesting technical problems to that too.
Yeah, it was a lot easier when the balls weren't this vertical, because
Yeah.
technically for the longest time, Talespire wasn't a proper 3D experience.
Mm.
And then came that fateful night where someone asked whether or not we can build vertically, and it was like, yeah, maybe. And then it stopped. That's when that's what added years to this project.
Yeah, that and copy paste ruined everything.
Yeah.
It's all been downhill since that night. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
That's how
So,
it's like.
all right. So here's another one. Will the performance upgrade affect online play?
Now
And-
that's that question could mean different things. So
Yeah, Professor P.
I'm not sure what
Yeah.
exactly you were asking there. Do you think you could expand on that one a little bit?
Yeah, that definitely, I think we need a little more clarification on exactly what you're asking about. While
There's a
waiting
few
on
good questions there.
Yeah, while you're waiting for that response from you, Professor PUI, on that one for some clarification, Anton Spawn said, or sorry, Anton Spone. Sorry, I corrected myself, Anton. It's Anton Spone. Okay. Will chromatic alterations for assets be within Talespire, or is that something in Tailweaver? And I think I understand what he's getting at is like, will you have to recreate the asset with a different color in Tailweaver, or will you have the ability to kind of switch between color palettes? You know, like, oh, you know, here's one for like a green dragon to a red dragon to a gold dragon, etc. within Talespire.
In the case of creatures, you will be able to do it inside a Talespire.
Okay. Okay, so we'll be able to like
follow up on that elephant in the room about props and tiles. We won't actually have tinting support for those things, so those would have to be like modded
okay.
if given different sort of tinting.
Okay. Which, speaking of that, with the props and tiles, I may have missed it. I've been, trying to multitask here. I may have missed it when you initially were talking about the Chimera build. But if you can just kind of, to refresh my memory, prop placement in Chimera is free place, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to.
Yes, it is down to a hundredth of a unit accuracy to be really persnickety about it. But yeah,
that is
yeah.
awesome.
So that's
And yeah,
That's,
rotation. What is how? What's the point for rotation? Is it 20 or 16?
15 degrees.
15 degrees. Okay.
So 15
wow.
degree steps, 20 of those, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That actually brings up another question of mine. Besides prop placement being much free and much more flexible, is there any possibility of like 45-degree rotation with tiles?
Pass to this. Do you want to start? No, but with details.
Yeah. So no, I guess. It's a tricky one when it comes to sort of a lot of the systems sort of rely on this idea that it's a grid. There are things that we're looking into in the future when it comes to being able to move like there's something we talk about which is like subboards and things like that, which the idea behind that was to be able to take a part like let's say a ship or something like that and move it around the board. But there are possibilities of sort of potentially rotating other things. But you're talking about the idea of rotating them sort of within the same house, and that is trickier. Um, I so don't want to comment on this.
I'll ramble about this for a bit. So that it sounds stupid because obviously it's just like, why can't you just go into Unity and just turn it? And yes, but also like when so we have obviously when you're making big boards, millions of tiles. All those tiles need to get saved. Now, if we're doing a full like 3D rotation, let's say it's 3 floats, that's 12 bytes just for the rotations per tile. So that's already 12 mega rotations. We can store the rotations in each one of these in a few bits, and that's a lot smaller. And that matters when you start putting down millions of things. And people want to build big. That was the thing we got from the alpha, right? People were going bigger than we were expecting. Well, bigger than we had imagined originally. We were building like dioramas and stuff. So, and with copy paste and stuff like this, you want to be able to send decent sized chunks. So, size of things matters, and you can get so far with compression. But like, I mean, short of, I mean, nerd brain going off with other ideas here. Like putting that aside, there are reasons we keep to the grid. Also, there's like designing systems that are going to work across grids is one level of challenge, and I don't know. We are trying to make something which has a physical feel and is of the kind of things, of like the kind of tiles you have in real life, and they have limitations as well. So we're okay with that being our aesthetic and our limitation. But yeah, when we can actually take a slab and rotate it, and just place it anywhere in the world, free place with big chunks of tiles, that's going to be really interesting. So you can have like airships and flying islands. Well, flying islands we can do anyway with the terrain system.
I was kind of thinking, and this may tie into that. I was thinking more along the lines of, okay, I want this building to have a wall, or like a 45-degree angle wall, and when I'm initially building it, rotating it to like, instead of being at 0 or 90, having 0, 90, and 45 as options. But it sounds like perhaps just creating a tile that the tile itself maybe is like a 4 square tile that's actually normally a 2 or 2 long wall, but having a 4 square tile that is looks like an angle.
I highly recommend it. Once the modding tools are out, as an exercise, try and make a set of diagonal tiles with floors that feel really nice, and try and have like buildings where you have like inside and outside, and work and look at the combinations and things like this, and see what you need to have a nice set. I mean, we've messed around with some of these things, but
it sounds difficult
to have it not be it's like you can totally mod that in the future, and I recommend it. And people are going to make cool sets with that kind of stuff. We're not doing it, and as long as we have modding, that's going to be fine. For now, it's a bit of a pain point because we don't give you any other option. But soon, well, soonish.
I mean, we are going to start experimenting more with different types of tiles and things like that. So hopefully, things will make some interesting stuff. But just pure diagonal tiles is unlikely.
All right. Okay. So, a couple other questions. Professor PUI has rephrased his question to hopefully clarify it a bit. Says, will the games be able to handle more tiles on a board with multiple players on the board? So I think what he's going for is, okay, I've got this big board. I've got a lot of tiles on it. Everybody is accessing this board. I've got multiple players in here at once accessing the board while I'm online. Is that going to affect the the speed of operation, the performance of it?
It should be better than it was before. So there's a few parts that actually one of the things that was slower in the old one was the character controller itself, and that was it was a really, really solid but third-party piece of code, and there were it was kind of beyond our thing at the time to be able to improve it too much. We've got a lot more tools at our disposal now, so it should be it'll be at least as fast as it was for large numbers of players, but we have the ability to optimize that code now. So
All right.
yeah, that's a kind of tricky way of saying yes, it should be. Like definitely the numbers of tiles for rendering is significantly better.
And even
That's
even on just the upgrade itself, that should for people who don't have tons of money into a gaming laptop or whatever, that's probably going to have an effect on their performance, right, as well, right? With the
that's
upgrade.
going to be interesting because so when we talk about things like not gaming laptops, what that normally means is embedded GPU, and that normally means Intel. And in like optimizing to make things run really nice on Intel GPUs is great, and it's something I really want to get into. But it's its own dedicated skill.
Okay.
And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's general across many GPUs, and yes, there's all those kind of things. And we're definitely not at, we definitely haven't reached that point either. There's still plenty of things we've got to optimize, but we're not saying that hey, the start of the early access. Oh yeah, this is going to run well on everything.
Okay.
This is yeah, we've got a nice test. We've got a nice bed to build on, kind of thing.
Outstanding.
I can work so.
All right. Tales
More or less.
Tavern. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm rambling. Don't worry.
Oh no. My bad. I did not realize you were going to answer something, but you go ahead and if you got something to say, we
No, I
definitely
was
wanna hear.
no, it was just rambling at the end. Sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, so in that case, Tails Tavern had a question. Says, I hate to ask, but will the issue with killing minis in initiative be fixed in Chimera? In other words, so it doesn't change the order. Like if you kill off a mini, all of a sudden, like you know, things might jump around, or even worse, what if I've got like 10 goblins out on the field, and I don't want to put each individual goblin into the initiative order. I'd rather just take one as a representative in there, and then if I accidentally kill off that one, he's just gone. So it's not really a build display thing, but Tails Tavern was wondering about that.
If there's a like, I think I've seen that bug. I haven't fixed that one specifically.
Okay.
That's the thing. It might still be there. It might not. A lot of things have been rewritten, so there'll be a lot of testing in the lead up to the actual release. So.
I could also elaborate on the fact that there are some like design and user experience things involved here, and I think that is certainly something that will be revisited. The like the turn-based mode in general.
Okay.
We're going to be fixing bugs associated with it, of course, as soon as we spot them. Or yeah, there's going to be a list of them, but hopefully we've been able to fix the bugs associated with that stuff. But the usability stuff will come a little bit later, but that's
Okay.
that's something we'll be revisiting.
All right. Okay. Actually, from a question here from McCabe554. This one is a question specifically for you, Jason. Is there any new music or environmental sounds in the works that we can look forward to in the lead up to early access?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any in progress at the moment. But I mean, obviously, man, sound effects are pretty cheap. So I mean, I'll be making them throughout early access for whatever people need. Right now we have pretty we got a pretty good inventory. If you want to see anything specifically, just asset requests. When we start bringing in other genres, down the road with cyberpunk and other things like that, of course, I'm gonna have to make some music for that and appropriate sound effects for modern day. But for right now, not really, man. I mean, we have I think over an hour of music in Talespire for the medieval setting and for the fantasy stuff. And as soon as modding comes out, I mean, people are gonna want to put in their own music for sure, and that's cool. And at that point, I mean, come on, I'm gonna be competing with like John Williams and freaking Hazel Palatoris. So
But Jace, did I remember incorrectly? Have we already shipped the that massive kind of ambient kind of environment stuff you did?
Actually, let's see. Is it in?
Because
Yeah,
they were,
there's a bunch of new. Yeah, there is a bunch of new ambient stuff.
Mhm.
'cause they were
I
really cool.
yeah, no, those definitely. We the ambient stuff should be okay. Yeah, we have a decent amount of ambient sound effects, but of course, we'll be making more if we need to. And of course, if
Mhm.
anybody wants anything, just hit me up on Discord and just be like whatever, you know, and just say you
Make us
want
sing.
something. And if it's appropriate and we're like, oh wow, yeah, that would be cool, then absolutely, we'll make it. Like I said, sound effects are pretty easy to whip out, but as far as the music, I might put some more battle tracks in there just to kind of round out some more battle music. But yeah, maybe some more ambient tracks, but nothing really that's planned right now. We're really
All right.
focusing on we're going to be focusing on the art assets and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I also as a personal thing, it's not related to the music, but I want to say thank you for the owl.
Yeah, you got it,
thank you,
man.
thank
That
you so
was
much
that
for the
was
owl.
yeah. It was late, but
Hey, I'm doesn't matter. Better late than never.
yeah.
All right. Okay, so that looks to be all the questions that I've seen in chat. If you're in chat, you have a question, going to be kind of your last chance here to throw that up so that we can try to get that answered. But we've gone over quite a lot today, and I think the big thing is the announcement. Oh, here we go. Ah, Anton Spone says, "Will there be a way to set up hotkeys to grab from the new favorite tile bar? Thinking of this for quick building, being able to hit like 1, 2, 3, etc."
It's more likely to happen with the old bar. So the favorite thing is
Okay.
actually going to be somewhat separate from that. And I've been thinking about putting up using the one down here for hotkeying. So that will maybe maybe be a thing. Probably not for
Okay.
the release of the early access, but we'll look into it once it's been released.
Okay. Wow, I put out a last call for questions and a bunch popped in. So we got from Jake. I don't know if you want to call it Jake E. Kiss or Jake Eckes. Any teases we can get for upcoming assets? Nothing we need to see per se, just look out for this.
Well, with the release of with the announcement for the release of Chimera, there you will be getting a Chimera miniature, which I just slapped down in the dungeon, Johnny. If you wanna,
Ooh, the dungeon. There we go.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
yeah. So that guy will be coming out. Yeah, he'll probably be released with early access. Other than that, we're still planning, man. We're still planning, but stay tuned. There will
Okay.
be tons of assets.
Seen some prototypes on blockouts today for something coming later in the year. That doesn't help
Mm.
anything. We've seen it. Yeah. Yeah, I really want to give a shout out to Hannah and Rachel as well, who's not here at the moment.
Okay.
Right.
Been
Yes,
working
they
working
fill
on
in.
art and yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, really good. I mean,
Art and other work that they do for you guys. That's cool.
yeah, big time. Actually, now that we're shouting out, I'd love to give a shout out
Oh yeah.
to the mods on
Oh yeah, definitely.
Talespire. Yeah, uh, Alex Chairmander, um, you know, Ocean Lord, Sun Commander
Mm.
Gaza, Panoramic Panda. Those guys, man, you couldn't ask for better mods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've been
And
amazing.
I gotta actually say definitely thank you to them as well from me, because anytime I've had questions about things, they've been right spot on the ball. More than happy to help. Very professional, nice, awesome mods.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I swear we got the best. I don't know how we did it, but we landed some really good ones.
Yeah,
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 it's
it's
been
been
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah,
All right.
really
Really
happy
happy
with
with
the
the
community in
community in
general.
general.
The
The
community
community
is
is
yeah.
yeah, like
Anyway,
anyway,
enough
All
enough
right.
gushing
gushing
over.
over
I
all
know.
the awesome people. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, last couple questions we're gonna go with. I think we got. Let's see. We're gonna go with. Looks like 1, 2, 3 questions that I'm gonna go with here, and I think then we're gonna call it. Eating up enough these guys' time. So, one is the fog of war that is coming to Chimera. Is that for individuals or party based?
Party based.
Could-
And while we're on that subject, when we launch, there'll just be the one party, and then we will, as the early access progresses, we'll add the thing for creating separate parties and the party panel and stuff like that. Doing that and making it nice had some fiddliness to it, so it's
Okay.
waiting.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll be party based.
All right.
To comment on the party system, the ability to run multiple games on the same board at the same time is such a appealing idea, and that's one of the reasons why we want the party system.
Okay.
Yeah, to the folks who are doing persistent worlds with Talespire, that's so wild, and you are super cool.
Oh, big time, man. Big time. Big time.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm really happy to see that because that's such a huge inspiration for Talespire initially and
Oh, yeah.
throughout.
Oh yeah, I know. Kind of shouting out. I know Mad Wizard and Istalri have been talking about it, and Klein NF and I have talked about this as well. But like our Talespire collaborative build stream maps, when we've got the time, we are going to probably make modules out of those maps that we are going to put up on Tales Tavern, like a write up of the module, the story, and you'll have the map, and then you can take the map and start doing it. So that kind of stuff, making modules and persistent worlds, I think are really going to be big in Talespire.
Yeah, that's awesome. It'd be great to have some additional systems in place to support more of kind of module centric things like map notes and all those other stuff. But that's not really my wheelhouse.
Okay.
I'll just make the minis. I can let those guys speak to that.
Well, you're selling your a bit short by saying you just make the minis.
Well, no, yeah, well.
Yeah. Do you want to have that argument here? We'll tell everyone that you're awesome. Just watch. Can't stop us. This is live.
Okay.
All right. Second to last question.
Jason's also been a really big part of the design process. So
hell yeah.
Nice.
It's not just minis.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, anyways, look. I mean, I was about to say yeah, it would be awesome to make systems that support modules instead of just the map maker. And we've played tested ourselves a module not too long ago, and some ideas were kind of churning in Jonny's head and Chris's and stuff, and it's really cool to hear them get excited about that kind of stuff, because the more they get excited, the more likely those kinds of things will make it into the game.
All right.
There is going to be stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. The second to last question is any ETA on lighting tweaks, like perhaps being able to set the radius and intensity of a lighting source?
No estimate on that.
Okay.
But,
and
yeah.
And then the last question that we're going to go with for this stream is, will Chimera have a party grab, like grabbing multiple pieces? I assume what you mean is like multiple miniatures.
Not yet, but we've fairly heavily thought out the interaction system for that, and I know what I want to do with the data side. Yes, there's some cool stuff we can do there.
It is still a little bit down the road, but it's coming.
During early access for sure. Do you want to do that as the last one? There was a question a little further down that
let's see. Hold on. A little further down. Ooh, are you talking about the one from AYURAYVY1? I just cannot pronounce that.
Well, I wasn't going to try to say it. The answer
any-
is: do we even say the question on stream, or do we just leave
Yes.
it as like as really
Oh, no.
tense? Fair enough.
No, we'll ask it. Any support for
Sure.
pixel dice?
We have ordered a dev kit. There's no promise on feature and stuff, but it's dope. I mean, dice that may or may not light up, as Stephen and Colbert says. I like it.
All right.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh.
Also, I just to do this, the one that came right afterwards. There's no news on the trailer, but it's in the works.
All right. So that's going to be it. I'm going to say thank you so much for you guys being here and asking, letting us ask you guys questions, for, helping to reveal that big announcement of the date. I think this may be the first that some have seen it. So that's really cool that it's getting out here. Do want to say Duncan McLeod did ask when everyone can get their hands on some BouncyRock Talespire merch from you guys. So if you've got a merch website, there you go. But
we don't have
go
anything
ahead.
currently.
Don't have anything currently. Well, it's
Sorry.
everyone's wanting it. So
Games. We're just making games.
just making games. All right. So before we say goodbye to Jason, Johnny, and Chris, I do want to real quick. I've got to do this. Give a shout out to my sponsor, Critical Hit Gaming Supplies. Just put their link in the chat. Go check them out for dice, miniatures, dice trays, dice towers they've got, dice bags, a whole bunch of great stuff. Check them out and use code TOGG15, TOG15, at checkout for 15% off. And then I also want to say that the video of this interview, I'm going to wait a couple days, and then this will be put out on my YouTube channel right there. So there's a link for that, so you guys can check that out there. You can spread the word for anyone who's into Talespire. Hey, go check it out there. And then the last thing is a couple quick announcements is come see us. Come watch my channel on Wednesday nights for my main D&D 5th edition campaign, where we use Talespire for maps and combat. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday nights, Klein NF, Danelle, and myself will be in Talespire and part of the collaborative build stream. And if you have Talespire right now, or on April 14th when it comes early access, once you get it, we want to see you guys in there with us, building with us. So just come to the stream on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll tell you how to jump in there and build with us. And then coming up on Saturday, March 27th, is the second of our collaborative build stream contests. So if you've got Talespire, we want you there. Come to our Discord channel. Here is the link. And check out the information in the collab contest time, and we will give you all the information you need to know in order to join the contest, where you could win a $25 Steam gift card. So that's it for all of that. I want to say thank you again to you guys. This was awesome. I'm so happy to have you here. So thank you so much.
For hosting.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
thank you
problem.
very much for the invitation.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's super cool.
All right.
And maybe we'll do this on V1, you know?
Hey, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. All right. Thanks again, guys. And thank you, all of you two watching. Hope to see you again next week, Wednesday and Thursday night.